Welcome back, everyone. We are live here. It is Thursday. It is late in the evening, and it is great to be on here, folks. I had to hop on live because we have some shocking revelations coming out in regards to none other than George Santos. Let me just do a quick sound check here on my end and make sure we are good to go so we can tell you these shocking truths coming out. Hello, hello. We do have some people hopping on. Glad to have you on this evening. Fantastic. All right, we do sound good on my end. All right, folks, we have to talk about George Santos. This is getting absolutely insane. The revelations and what we're learning, the shocking truths coming out about George Santos. Some of these are very sad. These are very low life, just terrible, terrible things to hear that you wouldn't want to hear about your worst enemy even. And, when you look at it, it's really unfortunate that he's still being allowed to hold a public office and public seat, despite all of these now, what are no longer allegations, but confirmed truths. These are actually verified, and these do have substantial claims behind them, with strong evidence. And like I said, some of these are just so sad to hear. Some of these are actually a little bit comical and ironic, and then some of these are just plain out lies. And it's a mix, but folks, the fact is that the truth is coming out every single day in regards to George Santos, and whether or not he can continue to be a representative of this country, that's another question. Now, the good thing is that not all GOP members are backing him. The good thing is that even locally, because he actually is a representative from my county, we are seeing Nassau County GOP Republicans coming out and saying that he should not be allowed to hold public office and that he should resign, step down, or even be removed. I don't know what the process would look like, but that would certainly be a long, never before seen thing in our country. So we'll see what happens there. But folks, we have to talk about some of these truths. Let's get started and dive right in. Before we do, of course, make sure you guys do a couple things for me. Number one, give this video a tremendous thumbs up, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. If you're watching live right now, let us know in the live chat or in the comment section by saying live. And if you're watching the replay, say the word replay in the comment section, or you can only say replay in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Live chat would be disabled by then. If you're watching on Facebook, because we do have some Facebook viewers, definitely let us know by saying Facebook in the comment section. That will just help me as well. So folks, let's get started and dive right in. Oh, and then also just make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already and have notifications turned on. That will help me out greatly. And the channel is growing every day, folks. Remember, next cash giveaway will be at 30,000 subscribers. Could be right around the corner at the pace that we're going. So with that being said, guys, let's get right down to it. So first of all, we'll start with this one. And this is just so low life, so sad to hear. It's the fact that George Santos unfortunately stole money from a GoFundMe. And this is true. At first it was more so just a rumor. In the last video we talked about, where we talked about our initial George Santos video. If you didn't see that one, that link is down below in the description. I recommend watching that as well. But now, these are more truths and confirmed truths with strong evidence coming out. So here's what we know. Here's just one of the many, many dozens of lies that George Santos has told over his career and the misrepresentations that he has made. I don't even know if you can call them misrepresentations, because they're just blatant lies. I mean, they are just absolutely untrue. So here's one. In May of 2016, Richard Ostoff was living in a tent in an abandoned chicken coop on the side of Route 9 in Howell, New Jersey, with his beloved service dog, Sapphire. And a veterans charity gave the pit mix to Ostoff, who was a disabled veteran who was honorably discharged from the U.S. Navy in 2002. And when Sapphire developed a life-threatening stomach tumor, Ostoff, who's now 47, learned the surgery would cost $3,000, and certainly he did not have that money. A veterinary technician took Ostoff aside and told him, "I know a guy who runs a pet charity who can help you." And if you already saw that first video, you see where this is going, guys. Remember, this charity does not even exist. Now, his name was Anthony DeVolder, and his pet charity was called Friends of Pets United, the vet tech told him. Anthony DeVolder is one of the names that Long Island Representative George Santos used for years before entering politics in 2020. Santos faces multiple criminal investigations after reports surfaced that he fabricated much of his resume during the congressional campaign. Many Democratic and Republican lawmakers on Long Island alone are calling for him to resign, and of course the entire country. So let's get back to the story. Osthoff and another New Jersey veteran, retired police Sergeant Michael Bowl, who tried to intervene to help Osthoff in 2016, said that Santos closed the GoFundMe he set up for Sapphire after it raised $3,000 on social media and disappeared. So you would hope that just a fluke, and closed the GoFundMe, and hopefully that $3,000 ended up going to where it was intended. But according to Osthoff, he said he stopped answering my texts and calls. And he even posted on Facebook back in 2016, to everyone who helped me and Sapphire raise the money for her surgery, I'm sorry to say that we were scammed by Anthony DeVolder and Friends of Pets United FOPU through a series of bad veterinary contacts. And regarding payment, Sapphire has not received veterinary care, and her growth is 3 to 4 times bigger than it was when the campaign was fulfilled. She is facing euthanasia within months, and ultimately those funds never ended up going to the right place. And certainly, George Santos, who at the time was under that other name, ultimately just took that money and ran. And that is a very, very sad thing to hear. Absolutely disgusting. Sapphire did actually passing away on January 15, 2017. She did not make it, and after being out of work with a broken leg for over a year, Osthoff couldn't afford the dog's euthanasia and cremation. So now, literally, he couldn't even afford the surgery, and he couldn't even afford, to give the dog a proper goodbye. And he said he had a panhandle, and it was one of the most degrading things he ever had to do, and that was all just for his dog. And remember, he's I would imagine still homeless and not living in the best conditions. He even contacted Santos and told him, you're messing with a veteran, and that he needed to give the money back or use it to get Osthoff another dog. So he even offered this compensation where if he couldn't give the funds for what it was really needed for, how about just get me another dog? And Richard Osthoff said he was totally uncooperative on the phone. Surprised that Santos even answered the phone at that point. And there's more to the story, folks, but that is the gist of it. And that's just one of the many, many lies George Santos has told and misrepresentations over his career. So here's another one, folks. This one's a bit ironic. I think you're going to be a little bit surprised about this one. Now, George Santos actually competed as a drag queen in Brazilian beauty pageants 15 years ago, according to 2 acquaintances, and that adds to contrasts that have drawn criticism of the openly gay Republican congressman's staunchly conservative views. So the embattled freshman Congress has also faced calls, obviously, from Republican lawmakers to step down. And if you look at his career, the congressman said on Twitter on Thursday that claims that I am a drag queen or performed as a drag queen are categorically false. And he added, I will not be distracted nor fazed by this. Now, he is openly gay, and he is the first openly gay Republican to win a House seat in Congress as a non-incumbent, but has positioned himself as a staunch conservative on many social issues. For example, he has backed Florida's controversial parental rights in education law, which prohibits classroom discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity, leading critics to call it the Don't Say Gay law. That's what it's been known as. And Republicans are increasingly denouncing drag shows and performers, claiming that they are harmful to children. Santos responded in October to a criticism of his support for the Florida law. He told USA Today, I am openly gay and have never had an issue with my sexual identity in the past decade. And I can tell you and I can assure you, I will always be an advocate for LGBTQ folks. Of course, this does go against his voting record and what he has supported. And the congressman was a poor drag queen, actually, in 2005 with a simple black dress. But in 2008, he came back to Niterói with a lot of money and a flamboyant pink dress to show for it. He competed in a drag beauty pageant that year using the name Kitara Ravash, but lost. He's changed a lot. He was always a liar, and he was always such a dreamer, according to his associates. So certainly, this is just yet another, I wouldn't necessarily call this a blatant lie per se, although he did backpedal on the fact that he was a drag queen, but according to these acquaintances and these allegations, it was indeed true. So you can call it a white lie, not necessarily something that's career ending. Certainly, if any other politician said this, I don't think their careers would end, but it's just yet another installment and chapter in this series of lies that George Santos has told. And it also goes against his voting record and what he believes in as far as a politician and his past. So, it's a bit ironic, but now here is something that I think a lot of you will find quite disgusting and shocking as well. So George Santos has consistently said that his mother, Fatima DeVolder, was working at her office in the South Tower of the World Trade Center during the September 11, 2001 attacks, and even as he altered his official biography to remove other false claims, Mr. Santos' account of ties to the tragedy remained. So it's not even like he went back on those claims once they were starting to come out and it was starting to not look like it added up. And in fact, this is something that may not be true, but official immigration documents reviewed by the New York Times on Wednesday directly contradict that claim too. So in an application for a visa to enter the United States filed in 2003, Ms. DeVolder said that she had left the country for Brazil in June 1999 and had not returned since. In earlier paperwork filed in June 2001, 3 months before the attacks, Ms. DeVolder said that she had been unable to return to the United States since 1999 because her green card had been stolen in Brazil. And so far, a spokeswoman for Mr. Santos, who represents parts of Queens and Long Island, did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment in regards to this matter, and Mr. Santos has not commented on this either. Now, this is, an apparently fabricated link to the September 11th marks, yet another entry in a long list of falsehoods that he shared as he sought elected office. He has attracted interest from federal and local investigators after the Times reported last month that he omitted details from financial disclosures and based his pitch to voters in New York on a series of lies about his real estate holdings, academic degrees, and Wall Street career. So again, guys, this is just another installment, and he lied about a connection to September 11th, and certainly, him being from New York and representing Nassau County, that's all the more so. That is just so unfortunate that he had to misrepresent that, especially as a New Yorker, and that's certainly something that we don't like here as a New Yorker, and I'm sure many, many people over the country do not respect or look up to as well. And he had even said that a company had worked for lost 4 employees at the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando in 2016, but news coverage and obituaries found no evidence that they could support that claim. So that was just yet another lie as well, that this is coming out. And he also said that his mother's parents were Jewish refugees who fled persecution in Ukraine and survived the Holocaust, but reports by The Forward, which is a Jewish publication, and CNN found evidence that his grandparents had been born in Brazil. So no connection there as well. And these are just one of dozens and dozens and dozens of fabrications and lies that he has told over this last span of many, many months and even years dating back many years ago. If you ask his acquaintances and colleagues and coworkers, he has just told lie after lie after lie after lie. And that is what we're learning every single day. You're seeing these reports come out, and obviously they're not surprising. When another lie comes out, another headline that you see, certainly I'm not shocked, I'm not surprised, but it's just unfortunate that, there hasn't been this massive momentum to get him out, especially on the GOP side. And, you do see GOP members talking about wanting to get him out and wanting him to be unseated. But, whether or not they're actually following through and taking action behind those words, that's another story. We're not really seeing a lot of action to try to get him removed. I think Republicans are focused elsewhere. But that is, certainly something to be debated. And we'll just have to see what happens, folks. Time will tell. Even his voters do regret voting for him. You are seeing those voters being interviewed and saying, do you regret voting for George Santos? And a lot of them actually saying yes. And they just cannot believe these lies and the fabrications that he has told. And the truth is coming out. Whether or not that truth will get him out, but we'll have to see, guys. We'll just have to see what happens. Right now, this is all we know, and these are the allegations that are now becoming confirmed. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you got value out of it. Make sure you share with a friend, share it on social media, get the word out, share with a coworker. Whether or not they're Republican, Democrat, share it with them, because this is just absolutely insane So I do hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching this evening. If you did enjoy it, give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button, make sure that you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. That will help me out. And if you haven't already, of course, make sure you get some free stocks down below. Use the broker's links at Robinhood and or Webull. You'll get some free stocks, some valued thousands of dollars in some cases. So let us know what stocks you get. And if you want to connect me on social media, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the social links down below. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care for now and enjoy your evening. Thank you so much.